Did you know Lamine Yamal made a record-breaking debut for Spain for a reason other than how talented he is? We will learn more about this in a moment, but here are 15 things you didn't know about Lamine Yamal. Number 1. He wasn't originally a winger. Although Lamine Yamal can play in any position across the forward line, he is most effective as a right winger. When he plays in the right wing position, he can dribble past opponents very easily. That's not all. He can also work his way into shooting positions and go for a goal or pass to a teammate in a better goal-scoring position. This might be the reality of his game, but Yamal wasn't always a winger. He actually started out as a striker, and before his transition into playing on the wings, he basically took part in 7-a-side matches. Playing on the right wing will make Lamine Yamal score fewer goals than he would if he played as a striker, but this might not be a problem, as his dribbling skills can help him beat opponents easily. That's not all. Before putting pen to paper for his first professional contract, Yamal was considered the most effective dribbler in the Barcelona academy across various age groups. And now that he is signed to Barcelona, he is perhaps the best dribbler in all of Catalonia. Well, the young player is not just a force because of how well he dribbles. He has broken several records. Number 2. He is Barcelona's youngest La Liga debutant in the 21st century. Several La Masia graduates go on to do great things in football without getting a chance to play for Barcelona. Others, like Cesc Fabregas, go on to play for other clubs before coming back to make an impact on Barcelona. But there is a third set of players. These players, just like Lionel Messi, get into the Barcelona first team directly from the La Masia Academy, and one of them is Lamine Yamal. Now, getting into the Barcelona first team from the academy is impressive, but that's not all Lamine Yamal has done. In addition to joining the list of Barcelona Academy graduates who have gone on to play for Barcelona, he is officially the youngest Barcelona player to make his La Liga debut in the 21st century. Lamine Yamal made his La Liga debut at the age of 15, 9 months and 16 days. He came off the bench in the 83rd minute as a replacement for another academy graduate. Gavi is a match between Barcelona and Real Betis, which ended 4-0 in favor of Barcelona. As beautiful as coming off the bench for Gavi seemed, Lamine's rise to prominence has worked in Barcelona's favor. But it hasn't exactly been perfect for Gavi, as the Spaniard of Moroccan descent has gone on to break some of Gavi's records. Number 3. He is Spain's youngest debutant and goal scorer. Lamine Yamal's presence in Barcelona and Spain has obviously reduced the workload on Gavi. Well, it is safe to assume that the Spanish midfielder is delighted. Sadly, he might not be so delighted with the fact that his teammate seems to be all out to break his records. Before Lamine Yamal came on the scene, Gavi was the youngest player to debut for the Spanish national team. However, Lamine broke that record in Spain's thrashing of Georgia in a Euro 2024 qualifier. The Barcelona forward came in as a substitute for Dani Olmo, who got injured before halftime. His introduction to the game made him Spain's youngest debutant. He was 16 years and 57 days old. Setting a new record as Spanish youngest debutant was great, but Lamine Yamal wasn't done for the night. In the 74th minute, he scored a goal to become Spain's youngest goal scorer. No one saw Yamal's goal coming. However, he was smart enough to be well positioned for a cross from Nico Williams. After a beautiful run, Nico unleashed a low cross, which was able to go through a sea of feet before making its way to Yamal, who didn't fail to slot the ball into the left top corner. A few days after his first goal for Spain, Yamal did the same for Barcelona. Number 4. Youngest Barcelona goal scorer in the La Liga. After making history by becoming Spain's youngest debutant and goal scorer, Lamine Yamal was basically just starting. A couple of days after his first goal for Spain, the right winger decided it was time to get his first La Liga goal for Barcelona. This goal came in a match between Barcelona and Granada. Although Yamal's goal in this match made him the youngest Barcelona goal scorer in La Liga, it actually did more. It simultaneously made him the youngest goal scorer in La Liga. Yamal was 16 years and 87 days old when he jumped on an open ball and scored Barcelona's first goal of the night just before halftime. Speaking to Barca TV after his goal, he said, "It's an honor for me to put in so much effort and score the first goal of my senior career for the club. It's a bittersweet feeling because of the draw, but I'm very happy with the team's reaction. Because coming back from 2-0 down on such a difficult pitch is very complicated, but we would have liked the victory." Just when it seemed Lamine Yamal has done it all as a teenager, he decided to shake up the Champions League scoreboard for teenagers. Number 5. He is the youngest player to score in the Champions League. Lamine Yamal perhaps has a thing for breaking Gavi's record, but it is interesting how Gavi is not the only La Masia graduate who has to watch his record get broken by the 16-year-old. Ansu Fati is another. Before Lamine Yamal became a sensation, former Barcelona wonderkid Ansu Fati was the youngest player to score in a Champions League match. Well, this record has been broken by Lamine Yamal, and he didn't even have to wait until age 17 before breaking it. Yamal scored his first Champions League goal at 16 years and 243 days old. This goal wasn't just one that made up numbers, it was a goal that really mattered, and it came in a match between Barca and Napoli. Lamine Yamal might have a reputation for breaking records. However, the Wonder Kid isn't just about breaking records. He also knows what it feels like to follow in the footsteps of those who came before him. Well, you can do the same by smashing the like and share buttons. Also, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our other videos. 6. He is quite similar to Messi. Lamine Yamal's era is absolutely different from Lionel Messi's. Unlike Messi, who met Ronaldinho in the game, Lamine Yamal, although a La Masia graduate like Messi, wasn't fortunate to play alongside the best player in the world. But that's not a problem. Messi, who in the eyes of the average Barcelona kid is the best player of all time, is considered the most talented player to find his way into the Barcelona academy. On the other hand, Lamine Yamal is seen as the most talented footballer to emerge from La Masia since Messi. With this, it is obvious there are already lots of comparisons. Well, Lamine might be extremely talented, however, it is just too early to start making comparisons. Speaking of Yamal's similarities to Messi, Xavi said, "I told him to try things," and he did, at 15 years old. Just imagine it. He played with confidence, and he showed what he was about. He has no fear and bags of talent. Some of his passes in the final third were really good. He's a similar player because he has that innate talent in the final third, which is difficult to find. Lamine doesn't seem like a 15-year-old. He's very mature. He's ready to play, and he is training well. He can mark an era at this club as part of this team. The Barcelona wonder kid is new to the game and has achieved next to nothing. Well, beyond comparing him to Messi in terms of talent, there is also a comparison that is based on style of play. Just like Messi, Lamine is an amazing dribbler and plays on the right wing. Also, he can play in any position across the front line. But playing across various positions is not the only set of options open to Lamine. Although the option to play for various countries no longer exists, Lamine Yamal actually had the freedom to play for 3 different nations. Number 7. He was eligible to play for Morocco, Spain, and Equatorial Guinea. To lots of folks, Lamine perhaps chose to play for Spain because he was born in Spain and had represented his country of birth at the youth level. But that wasn't the case. It might be difficult to know exactly why he decided to play for Spain. However, there is a likelihood he chose Spain over his parents' countries because Spain actually held strongly to it. Number 8. He got his international debut long before most people anticipated. Lamine Yamal is the youngest player to feature for the Spanish national team. This is something you know already, but I guess you do not exactly know why he featured for the Spanish national team a lot earlier than several folks anticipated. You see, there are no doubts about how talented Lamine Yamal is. Based on his talent level, he was probably going to feature for Spain quite early, but maybe he would have had to wait a little longer. Well, it didn't seem like Lamine was unwilling to wait. Clearly, Spain wasn't willing to wait. Lamine was eligible to play for Morocco in very much the same way as he was qualified to play for Spain. And the Moroccans seemed keen on getting him to North Africa just like they did Brahim Diaz. The Spanish Football Association knew this, so instead of leaving things to chance and letting the Moroccans come closer to convincing him, they decided to give him a call very early. Due to this, talks about him featuring for Morocco will never be heard. Spain could have given Yamal his debut in haste, but even if they had taken a little more time, the likelihood of him playing for Morocco was slim, and he seems loyal to Roca Fonda, where he grew up in Spain. Number 9. His goal celebration represents Roca Fonda. Not many players celebrate their goals with gestures that have deep meanings. This is perhaps one reason they celebrate with several gestures. But it seems like Lamine Yamal just might be different, as his goal celebration is a representation of the neighborhood he is from. Yamal celebrates by crossing his forearms and forming a 0 with his left thumb and index finger. The other finger ends up pointing outward, but that's not all. In his right hand, he has all 4 fingers raised. If you have no idea what message he is trying to pass on, you just might never get it. However, every time the new Barcelona talisman scores, he simply tries to form 304 with his hands. Interestingly, 304 is the postcode in Rocafonda, the neighborhood where Lamine grew up. Although Lamine represents Rocafonda, he still carries Morocco and Equatorial Guinea in his heart. Number 10. On his boots are the flags of Morocco and Equatorial Guinea. With how beautiful Lamine Yamal's football career has turned out to be, one can easily say he made the right move when he chose to play for Spain ahead of Morocco and Equatorial Guinea. As much as the lad was born in Spain, some folks from the other countries he could have represented probably feel backstabbed by him. But this is most likely far from the truth. You see, Lamine knows he can only play for one country, and he has made his choice. But this doesn't mean he doesn't think highly of his parents' nations. On his boots are the flags of Morocco and Equatorial Guinea. This goes a long way towards proving he still considers himself a part of Africa and is most likely not shy of his humble roots. But beyond not running from his roots, it appears Lamine just might be humble. Number 11. He was a quiet kid. The time players spend on the pitch basically shows the world what they can do with the ball. It doesn't exactly give a picture of what their personalities are. We might not know what kind of person Lamine is by simply watching him play, but folks who are close to him and knew him long before he became famous consider him quiet and humble. Yamal became a member of the Barcelona Academy at the age of 7, but not many people around him knew he was in Barcelona. Unlike the kids in his neighborhood, only a few people knew the strides he was making as a kid. An elderly woman who cuts his grandma's hair gave an idea of what he was like growing up. She said the kids that played for local team Mataró would wear their club tracksuit to school to boast, but he never really let on he was at Barcelona. She says he wouldn't wear anything that gave it away, and some of the kids didn't even know. Well, this was possible for a long time because he didn't stay around his friends for too long. Number 12. He made Barcelona break the protocol. After Barcelona welcomed Lamine to their academy, his performances soon made it obvious that he wasn't like any of the kids at the academy. So, to get the best out of him, they decided to move him to live on site. This looked just normal. However, it was a breach of their protocol. You see, living on site at La Masia was only for kids that came from outside Catalonia. One could assume his parents were not comfortable with his move from their home to the club. However, they felt it was great for his education, so they welcomed it. Speaking about bringing Lamine to live on site at La Masia, the authorities at La Masia said, "We brought Lamine to live at La Masia to be able to control his diet, his rest, and his workload," Rora explained, and also so he could relax and maintain his focus. This has obviously helped his development and decision-making. Number 13. He doesn't play like anyone else. There are some similarities between Messi and Lamine Yamal, so it is easy to compare him to the Argentine legend. But in reality, Lamine doesn't behave like anyone else. There are a couple of young players that can dribble and beat opponents like Lamine. However, he stands out because of his intelligence. According to Barca's former sporting director Raymond Planes, the best and most remarkable thing about Lamine is his football intelligence. He plays like nobody else. People class him as a winger, but he can play whatever he wants. He is an all-round footballer. Without a doubt, he's a wonderful kid with a great personality for a 16-year-old. He's a footballer in every sense of the word. Number 14. He was dubbed New Ansu. The comparison between Lamine and Messi is quite popular, but when the new Barcelona wonder kid came on the scene, not many people compared him to Messi. Rather, he was compared to Ansu Fati, whom many thought would be the best thing to happen to Barcelona after Messi. Interestingly, he has gone past Ansu Fati in several ways you can imagine. Number 15. He is Barcelona's youngest starter, scorer, and assist provider. Lamine Yamal has just started his Barcelona journey and is clearly a long way from becoming a legend. With his amazing start, several people are already beginning to consider him a legend in the making. He is Barcelona's youngest starter, scorer, and assist provider. If this is anything to go by, his start is already better than Messi's. Hopefully, he is allowed to develop physically and goes on to pick up a couple of Ballon d'Or awards. Be sure to like and share this video before moving on. Also, please subscribe to this channel if you are new here.